God, there is nothing to watch. Oh shit, it's Courage the Cowardly Dog. God, I haven't watched this show in forever. Okay, I'm definitely gonna watch this. Or I could watch my extremely old and cringy videos about me talking about Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Other villains have tried to kill Courage and his family in the past, but none of them tried to kill them in the inhumane ways that King Ramses did. He tried to drown them, make their ears bleed, and he tried to get them eaten alive by locusts. That is a little bit of an extreme punishment for someone who won't give you your slab back.
God, that video sucked. Honestly, I should just make another one of these because I guarantee you the sequel would be way better. Yeah, I'm totally gonna do that. Let me just get that right. Okay. There we go. Okay. Fuck! This is why I wish I had a tripod, so stuff like this wouldn't happen. Let's see the damage. Oh yeah, this thing is totally busted. Wait, unless I still have my manual. Hold on, I think I do. Ah, here it is. Okay, let's see here. Ah, there it is. Okay. God, this is such a pain in the ass. All I wanted to do is get the chance to talk about some other villains that I hadn't gotten to talk about in my original Courage the Cowardly Dog villains video, and my top 10 Courage the Cowardly Dog villains. In those videos, I talked about a bunch of different villains like Freaky Fred, King Ramses, and Mad Dog. For this video, however, I want to talk about some villains that I had never talked about on my channel before, or haven't talked about in a long time. The first villain I want to talk about is probably the most unique villain in the show, being the Sandman. The Sandman is a very different kind of villain in comparison to the other Courage the Cowardly Dog villains. For starters, unlike most of the villains in the show, the Sandman isn't trying to directly hurt the Bags family. Rather, he's just trying to get some sleep, and Muriel just so happens to get dragged into his affairs. This is really interesting because the Sandman isn't a villain in the sense that he has an evil plan to get what he wants, but instead is just selfish, and his selfishness is what ends up hurting Muriel. This makes the Sandman feel more realistic and can even be, to an extent, relatable, even if it is for the wrong reasons. I also really like the Sandman's gimmick. Personifying the Sandman into a selfish demigod is actually a really cool idea that makes a lot of sense. Since he literally controls all of the sleep in the entire world, he had to be some sort of extraordinarily powerful being, even if he just controls sleep. What makes this interesting is that he feels like a fusion of Freaky Fred and King Ramses, in the sense that his goals are simple and logical that to him aren't evil, like Freaky Fred, while at the same time he can fly and give and take people's ability to sleep, which is definitely more on the mystical side, feeling very similar to King Ramses' powers. Interestingly enough, also like King Ramses, he isn't defeated and definitely doesn't learn a lesson. The only reason he gives Muriel the ability to sleep again is because he doesn't need her to sleep anymore. There's no big battle that Kurt somehow wins or a moment where he realizes he was being selfish. He just doesn't need Muriel's ability to sleep anymore. He's truly evil in the most blissfully unaware way possible. On an unrelated note, can I just say that I love his design? Making the Sandman's design look more villainous instead of kind-hearted, like most depictions of the Sandman are, makes his interpretation of him stand out way more, and in turn makes him more memorable. This works really well because there's so much you could do with him as a villain. Like the fact that he has sheep henchmen, if you can even call them that, is one of my favorite things about the Sandman, especially since they aren't evil in the slightest and really aren't involved in the plot. They seem to be there to give the Sandman more personality and to help build his world, because they do not have a lot of screen time. However, what's really unfortunate about the Sandman is how underrated the episode he comes from is. In all honesty, I hadn't seen the episode in years and kind of forgot about it, but when rewatching it recently, I don't understand how I could forget such an amazing episode in the series. It's really unfortunate that the Sandman is such an underrated villain, because he's pretty entertaining to watch. And it looks like we are back in business. Alright, let's set this up. Okay, let's just get this ready. Okay, and it looks like we're good to record. Let's do it. What? Are you fucking serious? Oh my god, the battery's dead now. Okay. That's fine. It shouldn't take that long to recharge the battery anyway. Well, this sucks. I probably could have been done filming the video by now. No, realistically, I probably would have only gotten to one of the villains and would just now be on the King of Flan, who is a more interesting villain in the sense that he is just an ordinary guy who wants to get rich. Which might seem like a normal villain for most shows, but Courage the Cowardly Dog is not like most shows. Unlike a majority of the villains in Courage the Cowardly Dog, the King of Flan isn't a monster or anthropomorphic and doesn't have any special powers or gimmicks. Well, he technically does have one gimmick, but I'll get to that later. The King of Flan isn't a villain that's looking to hurt the Bags family, or anyone really. All he wants to do is sell his flan that just so happens to have addictive properties to it that will make you want to buy more of it. What the King of Flan does is actually more interesting than any of the other villains in the series because of what he represents. Like most products you see in an infomercial, the company selling the product uses dirty tricks to get you to buy whatever they're selling to you, like, if you buy this product right now, we'll throw in a blah 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 for free. Spoiler alert, they were going to throw in that free product whether you buy it right then or 5 weeks later. However, instead of using cheap tricks like I just mentioned, he just literally hypnotizes people to buy his product, which, once eaten, gets you hooked. I feel like the King of Flan is supposed to represent the CEO of the corporations that are known for tricking its viewers to getting them hooked on their products. Whether that means getting stuck in a monthly payment plan that you didn't know was a part of the deal, or literally getting addicted to the product like the King of Flan's flan does. Interestingly enough, the King of Flan is actually very similar to the Sandman in the fact that they both act selfishly to get what they want, and aren't necessarily looking to hurt anyone. However, the big difference between these two is the fact that the King of Flan is affecting a massive group of people, while the Sandman is only affecting one person. His hypnotic commercial is aired for everyone in Nowhere and affects most of the townspeople to buy flan, and when they run out, they fight over it. And what's even more messed up is that the King of Flan had planned to air his commercial around the world. So the King of Flan is without a doubt way more evil than the Sandman because of how many more people he's affecting, and because he's essentially ruining people's lives by getting them addicted to flan, which also, if you eat too much of it, makes you morbidly obese. Speaking of his commercial, this commercial, while seeming supernatural, actually isn't. As I mentioned earlier, the King of Flan is a normal guy. While his commercial does hypnotize people, it does it through the way it's made and edited versus the Sandman's magical powers to give and take people's sleep. So to summarize, the King of Flan is an evil person that isn't magical or trying to hurt people. He's evil for his obsession with wealth and lack of remorse for causing and spreading addiction. Aw, cool, the battery's done charging. Okay, we should finally be ready to record this video. Okay. Are you fucking serious? There's no SD card in there now? Okay, I know that is bullshit. There was an SD card in that bitch last night. Holy crap. I cannot believe that I actually finished that script. Well, I guess there's only one thing left to do now. And that is, of course, to celebrate! Okay, yeah, that SD card's fucking gone. Alright, well, I guess I have to go to fucking Best Buy now. I honestly don't even know how to react to this. Well, I guess I'll never get to talk about the Great Fusili and how amazing of a villain he was. The Great Fusili is probably one of the most memorable villains, not for being iconic like Freaky Fred King Ramses, but for the morality and lasting effects of what he did in the season 1 finale, The Great Fusili. For those unaware, Fusili is a part of a traveling puppet show that turns its audience into puppets. In the episode, Eustace and Muriel get turned into puppets and aren't able to be turned back. What makes it so messed up is that at the end of the episode, Courage is controlling Eustace and Muriel, trying to mimic what life was like before Fusili arrived. What's even crazier about this is the fact that if Courage the Cowardly Dog wasn't greenlit for a second season, the series would have ended with us never knowing if Eustace and Muriel turned back into people or not. I bring this up because it's important for understanding just how evil Fusili really is. I honestly would say that Fusili is the evilest villain in the series, even more evil than Mad Dog. While Mad Dog was a pimp and threatened to kill Bunny if she was seen around Kitty again, he never actually kills anyone. Fusili, on the other hand, is fully aware that he's taking people's souls to make them into puppets and doesn't care because he wants to get more puppets for a show. In fact, he's extremely joyful whenever he does get a new puppet, making this even more fucked up. Like the Sandman and the King of Flan, what Fusili is doing is without a doubt selfish. But what makes him different from the Sandman and the King of Flan is that what he's doing is far more sinister. The Sandman and the King of Flan never intended to hurt anyone, while Fusili was fully aware of what he was doing, was in fact hurting people, didn't care, and was going out of his way to do so, making him a full-on psychopath, which is something that isn't the case with the majority of the villains in Courage the Cowardly Dog. What makes the Great Fusili such a psychopath is that what he was doing was essentially murdering people just so he could have more puppets for his show, and he has no remorse for doing so. On a lighter note, I think that the Great Fusili has a perfect design for his character and the way that he looks, his voice, and his movements. Throughout the whole episode, he has the same kind of presence that a director for a play would have, but to the extreme. He is an extremely vibrant alligator that is passionate for what he loves, which is putting on a wonderful play for people across the world, even if that means killing his audience. He also has the perfect accompanying music that is some of the most terrifying shit that I've ever heard in a kid's show. This is especially the case whenever it's revealed that the puppets are human beings. The Great Fusili is by far the most sinister villain in the entire series that is evil to the core. Alright, now that's just embarrassing. Okay, we should finally be ready to go. Okay. Hey guys, what's going on? Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Ryan Kelly, and today we're going to be talking about... That's right, we're going to be talking about lots and lots of now on Relevant Videos. We're going to become an exclusive channel where we just talk about all sorts of content. I don't know why I did that. I thought it'd be funny in retrospect. It's really not. I feel gross by doing it. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna.